Lazarus back from the tomb, now the same Jesus lies in his own tomb yonder. Jesus, the one we believe to be the Messiah, has proven to be another false hope. I was foolish enough to believe he was the Son of God.
Martha, listen to your own words. He raised our brother Lazarus from the dead. No common, ordinary man could do something like that.
No, not a common man. There is no doubt he worked miracles. But neither could he be the Son of God, for if he were, certainly no forces of man could bring about his death, and he is dead. That's what he is, dead. He lies stone cold in that tomb yonder, guarded by a fiendish Roman soldier.
But Martha, that's Thomas Didymus, the twin. He's one of us.
Thomas Didymus, indeed. Doubted Thomas is he.
Remember what Thomas said when Jesus announced that he would return to Jerusalem to raise our brother Lazarus? He said, "Let us also go, that we might die with him."
Oh, fiery rhetoric, Mary. And where was Thomas and all the rest when Jesus needed them most? Scattered like thistle before the whirlwind, that's what. Talk. All talk. It's easy to talk when you are not at risk. Why did Jesus return to Jerusalem? He knew full well the consequences. Why, Mary?
Do you remember what Jesus said? He said he would return to Jerusalem, where he would be handed over to the teachers of the law and the chief priests, and they would mock him and flog him and crucify him. Jesus knew full well what lay ahead of him in Jerusalem.
Why did he have to die? Why? Why?
Martha, you forget the most important part of his message. Remember? He said on the third day he would rise again. Just as he rose our brother Lazarus from his tomb, he who had been in his tomb for 4 days, so shall he rise.
Raised to life? Who is to raise him to life? He who raised our brother Lazarus to life is now himself dead. See there? His tomb. That is reality. The talk of life loses its bloom at the time of death. But no matter. It is preparation day, and the Sabbath is about to begin. Come with me. We must prepare the spices and the ointments, and then rest on the Sabbath day according to the commandment.
Oh, I'll come with you, Martha, but I won't forget his promise. He shall rise again.
Friends of his, I presume?
Yes. 4 women, sisters. Their brother Lazarus, who had died, was brought back to life by Jesus. And like the rest of us, Mary and Martha believed Jesus was the one. Believed him to be the Son of God, the Messiah. They are right, you know, the skeptics. We should have never believed the Messiah should come as a baby child.
Believed? You mean you no longer believe? You, Thomas Didymus? Are you not his disciple? You doubt his very claim to be the Son of God? How could you, as one who knew him so intimately, ever doubt?
Doubt? Didn't you know? They call me Doubting Thomas. But this time for just reason. Had he in fact been the Son of God, he would have overcome the powers of your army.
I'm overwhelmed. You've given up on your Savior. The very one who not a few days hence was trumpeted into the city with music and rejoicing and the laying of palm branches. And now you doubt his very godhood? I can't believe you, his disciple. How did you not remember that he said he would be crucified and that he would rise again? Did you not hear this from his very lips? How could you not believe?
Believe? Me? Seems as though you believe on him.
Me believe? Yes, I do believe. Truly, he was the Son of God.
My. A Roman centurion believer. What is your name, centurion believer?
My name is Cornelius. I was there with the guards who arrested him at Gethsemane and watched over his crucifixion.
And tell me, Cornelius, just how did you come to believe in a dead Savior?
Oh my, yes, I see why they do call you Doubting Thomas. But how could you doubt? You were there, with him, standing by his side, learning innumerable life's lessons from his very lips. I saw you. You were there when we came to Gethsemane, and then later, cringing around the periphery at Golgotha. Through it all, you saw how he behaved. No one but the living God could have withstood that torment alone, undeserving. And when your Jesus cried out in a loud voice and said, Father, into thy hands I commit my spirit. And having said thus, gave up the ghost. When I saw what had been done, I glorified God and said, certainly, this was a righteous man, the very Son of God. Thomas, how could you doubt?
And if his death struck you so, how could you, Cornelius, bear to be here guarding his tomb for your Roman business?
How could I? How could I not? I wanted to be here, near him. I had to be here. Yes, you see, dear Doubting Thomas, I do believe. I believe that though today has been a day of showing the horror of evils, somehow, some way, your God will make something good of all this evil.
God bring good of evil? I envy you, friend Cornelius. You truly believe that one, now dead, can be the Lord of all creation.
Thomas. Do you truly believe that all the Messiah stood for could be brought down with a cross and a handful of nails? Draw on the strength and the knowledge and the will given to you during your time with him. Do not disregard the many times he told you he would rise again. Yes, dear Thomas, I do believe him with all my heart which is broken for the injustice which I brought upon him today, is a heart that knows better than all intellect, that though this has been a day of darkness and turmoil, of hatred and fear, so shall come 3 days hence the glory of his triumphal return, and I, Cornelius, shall wait here as the very ground around us erupts in deference to his holiness and power.
Peter, Vianney, you behold! John, the cords of death would not hold him. James, the tomb is empty. Salome!
We were there. Mary, good news. Iose, just as he told us. Martha, wondrous news. Lazarus, he who raised you has now been risen. Mary, weep no more.
All of you, all of his disciples, he has risen. He is alive, alive!
We were there. We saw it with our own eyes. The tomb was empty.
Where is everyone, Iona? We must let them all know. Jesus, the one who's crucified, he's alive!
Oh, Mary Magdalene, he is truly risen, has he not? I mean, we're sure, aren't we?
We saw it with our own eyes. The linen cloths in which his body were bound were neatly laid on the ledge.
But the men, will they believe us? We are only women. Will they question what we saw? The angel, the empty tomb?
You saw Cornelius. You spoke with him this morning by the tomb. Did he not tell you what had happened? You, the wife of Chutzah, Herod's own house steward. Surely you believe the testimony of Centurion Cornelius.
Poor Cornelius. The Jewish leaders were offering large bribes to all the soldiers that were guarding the tomb. All the soldiers had to do was offer up a false report and say they had fallen asleep while guarding the tomb, and friends of our master had stolen his body while they slept. Some dilemma. If the Roman soldiers said they had fallen asleep, they would be liable to death at the hands of their Roman superiors. they told the truth, then they must say that the earthquake or whatever it was had moved the huge stone from the entrance to the tomb. And the tomb was empty, and the body of Jesus was gone. Would anyone believe them?
Empty? Cornelius told you the tomb was empty when the stone was rolled away? But I thought God had unleashed that earthquake and sent the angels to release God to come out. But if what you say is true, the stone did not roll away to let Jesus come out, but
To let us look in. The purpose was not for Jesus to come out, for he had already risen to his glory, but for us to come into his presence, to come into his eternity.
what will Cornelius and the Roman guards do? Will they accept the bribe? Will they?
Some will, but Cornelius will not. Cornelius plans to give first-hand proof of the resurrection to his superiors. And then he will join with Peter and the rest of us and wait for Jesus to appear as the angel.
Will they? Will Peter and the others believe us when we tell them what has happened?
Yes, Mary Magdalene, they will, because our story will be told when Cornelius comes. And more, the angel promised that Jesus would visit us himself. Some of the disciples, especially Thomas, will be doubtful at first. But once the Master appears, they will say to us, we no longer believe just because of what you say, but because of what we have seen and heard with our own eyes. This man has truly risen, and he really is the Savior of the world.
When the Savior does appear to us, he will reward us, the women, will he not, Fiona? After all, were we not the only ones to stay with him at the very end of the cross and the first to the tomb?
Or will the Savior say, we showed much love but little faith in his resurrection, as we were last at the cross and first at the tomb.
All I know is this. He will forgive my doubting faith. Oh, Iona, we stand here, the dawning of a new day. Do you remember when the curtain was torn in half when he died? The tearing of the thick curtain that separated the holy place, where only the holy priest would enter once a year on the Day of Atonement, signifying a new living life in the presence of God, open to all by Christ's death and resurrection.
Or are we in the coming of a promise where blood sacrifices a physical temple and a special Aaronic priesthood is no longer required, where men and women can worship God freely with hearts of love?
The angel announced a message of joy. He is not here. He has risen just as he said. And to further prove the reality of the event, come and see where he lay.
Slain because he claimed to be King of Jews. He has now been raised because he is King of kings and Lord of lords, rejected by all of Israel during his first life on earth. He has now returned to be accepted as King, whom we now and forever acknowledge. Come, Mary, let us find Peter and the rest and tell them the good news. Jesus Christ has risen.
He has risen indeed.
Now that you know the truth, go into all the world and tell my good news to all who need to hear. All who hear and believe will be made whole through my redemption on the cross. But there is no hope for those who turn from me and the gift of salvation which I offer. This should be all the motivation you need to be diligent in making my name known throughout the world, even in your own neighborhood. Those who accept my free gift and live according to my design will be able to do things far beyond that they have ever dreamed. Fear and ignorance will be overcome. Those who previously could not listen will now have minds and hearts wide open to accept the good news. I will empower all who follow me that they can perform feats which can only be described as miraculous. I will keep them from harm as they obey my will. Their lives shall be full and plenteous, and their accomplishments significant. They shall bring new life to all around them. And now I go to make ready the place for those who come after me, that we can live together in friendship and harmony forever. Although you cannot now see me, still be calm. Know that I am God and I live in your everyday world with you. You have my promise that I will never leave you alone, nor will I allow that your troubles be more than you can bear. Peace and love will be the constant companions of those who put their full trust in me. All this I swear in my own holy name, that you may feel total security. But one last thing. Do you love me more than the trivial things around you? Then feed the lambs in my flocks. Do you truly love me? Then take care of all the sheep I treasure as my possessions. Dear friends, do you love me? Then take up my cause, walk boldly in my footsteps, and join with me in service to those who need my touch. Join with me while you still can. The need is overwhelming. Those available for the task are few, but the rewards to the server and the served alike are without parallel. Come, take up your cross, follow me. It has begun.
They're already on the program, but the lights, Dave and Cindy Brown, and our team. Our crew, Kathy, Pete Queen, and Dave Hugginson. And we have Sergina and Gabby on makeup. And I also want to thank Rocky for donating the marquee out there. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.
I just want to say a word of thanks to all of you. What a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you very much. And our drama ministry here is not called a drama club. It's called a drama ministry because it isn't just about learning the craft of drama or putting on plays for entertainment, but it's also about preaching and healing and teaching us about our lives and our faith through the gift of these presentations. And I think tonight has been a very special moment. And we appreciate that in the ministry that you've done for us. Thank you very much. This play is the perfect way to begin our Holy Week. This is the holiest of our weeks. This is time that is apart from the rest of the time in our calendar year. This Holy Week, when something is holy, it is set apart. It's not part of the common or the ordinary. And this week is holy and is meant to be set apart in our lives. And we thank all of the drama ministry for helping us to set this time apart. It has begun our contemplation of his passion and his death and his resurrection. We join ourselves to that this week, and we journey through the suffering of the cross, through those days of betrayal and suffering. We journey through those to the glory and the triumph of the resurrection. That's not just a story that took place in ancient Israel, it's a story that still takes place in our lives. And we thank you all for making it happen here for tonight. Thank you.